all of you this afternoon at this webinar entitled A Window in Belgium, to highlight the fruitful relation between Belgium, Luxembourg, and Arab countries, organized by our Chamber of Commerce in collaboration with the Belgian Foreign Trade Agencies, as you know, Ablcc, Brussels Hub or Hub Brussels, FEED, and FEVIA, and also the Federation of Belgian Chambers of Commerce. And also pleased to welcome our partner, Luxembourg Chamber of Commerce. It's a great pleasure and honor for us also to welcome today a great number of participants. I think there is about 120, 130 participants coming from around 20 countries, from Belgium, Luxembourg, but also from European countries, also most Arab countries. And I am delighted and honored also to welcome His Excellency Mr. Leroy, Belgian Ambassador in Algeria, and Mr. Klaas, Belgian Ambassador in United Arab Emirates, and His Excellency Ambassador of Oman, Mr. Najib Al-Ibri, and at the same time, he is the Dean of Arab Diplomatic Corps in Belgium, and Mr. Hugebert, the Director General of Middle East and North Africa in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with whom we are really appreciate the wonderful and good relation with us and the support of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We would like to thank also our sponsors, as you can see on the backside, our partners, the Belgian attaché in Arab countries. Also, we have a large participation of Arab-Belgian from the Chamber of Commerce and Industry from Arab countries, and also would like to welcome the member of our board from Belgium and from Arab countries. Sure, I will forget some, but welcome to all of you at this webinar this afternoon. As you know, Arab countries and EU in general, and Belgium and Luxembourg in particular, have a really a wonderful relation. Our cooperation is based on a common interest, a long history, neighborhood, and proximity. EU and Arab countries represent two of the largest economic groups in the world. We, as you know, today we live in difficult and challenging conditions and constitute a crossroad of what will be the future of our region. We are seeking to elevate our relation to higher level by setting common standards, aiming to achieving sustainable development with the participation of public and private sector for the benefit of both sides. When we speaking about private sector, as you know, the Chamber of Commerce is covering the private sector, and we are pleased and honored today to welcome speakers from the Belgian Foreign Trade Agencies, as just mentioned, Ablcc, Hub Brussels, Flanders, Investment and Trade, but at the same time at FEVIA, Belgian Food Industry, and the Federation of Belgian Chamber of Commerce. But also we will have the great pleasure and the opportunity to welcome the representative of mainly around all Arab embassies here in Brussels. It's really for the first time we are pleased to welcome around 18 or 20 diplomats from Arab embassies here in Brussels. For the series on the cake, we will be able to welcome at the end of our session two main speakers coming from Oman, His Excellency Mr. Saleh Al-Shamfari, the CEO of the Food Omani Investment Company, and also Ms. Aman Al-Sharji, Business Development at Oman Public Authorities for Economic Zone and Free Zones. And I will not be so long because really we have a speakers high quality, and we will start by giving the floor to His Excellency Mr. Dominique Delat. Mr. Dominique Delat, he is Director General Middle East at the Agence Wallonne des Exportations. As you know, in Belgium, we are a federal country. The foreign trade is split in three parts. That's mean in the south, that's mean the AUX Wallonia region. In the middle, Brussels hub is the Brussels region, and in the north, Flanders investment and trade, that's mean the Flemish region. And we will start by alphabetical order. I give the floor to Mr. Dominique Delade, who will give us the opportunities to business in the Wallonia region. Please, Mr. Delade, the floor is yours, and feel inspired.
Thank you, Mr. Ijazin. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank the Arab-Belgian-Luxembourg Chamber of Commerce for organizing today's event, allowing us to present our institutions and meet, even if it is unfortunately virtually, some of Ablcc's members, as well as representatives of foreign embassies based in Belgium. As I presume that some of you have recently arrived in our beautiful country, please allow me to welcome you and wish you all a fruitful and pleasant stay in Belgium. Given the present circumstances, I'm not sure you had time to enjoy our gastronomy, culture, and beautiful landscapes, but I'm pretty sure that when the pandemic is over, you will appreciate the quality of our living here. As Mr. Ijazin rightly said, I'm indeed representing the Wallonia Export and Investment Agency, AWEX. Wallonia is the southern and French-speaking part of Belgium. It has a population of around 3.5 million inhabitants and represents more than half of the Belgian territory. Being a neighbor of France, Wallonia is also a region that is culturally oriented towards this country, although its population is multilingual. Historically, Wallonia was during a large part of the 19th century the world's second most important industrial region behind the United Kingdom, thanks to its famous coal and metal industries, and to the development of other sectors such as glass and textile, just to name a few. At the time, Wallonia had large groups of companies that were very competitive and famous all over the world. Unfortunately, these traditional economic sectors faced a severe economic recession in the beginning of the 20th century, and a recession that considerably damaged the Walloon economy and led to high unemployment. Luckily enough, some very important local companies survived and stayed in Wallonia. And after the Second World War, some significant multinational companies started to invest in key economic sectors. After a long period of transition, the profile of Wallonia changed dramatically. Today, Wallonia is made of about 70,000 companies, representing 650,000 jobs. 99.6% of them are SMEs, not to say very small and family-owned companies. Indeed, on average, Walloon companies have no more than 9 employees, and on average, about 2,000 new companies are founded every year. Because the territory of Belgium is small and the domestic market very limited, exports are of course vital to the Walloon economy. And according to the statistics of the Walloon Federation of Enterprises, exports represent about 70% of the company's turnover and no less than 50% of Wallonia's GDP. Without going too much into details and to sum things up, I think this new economic profile is probably due partly, or at least was reinforced by the launching in 2005 by the Walloon government of a totally new policy called at the time the Marshall Plan. In just a few words, this new policy was a vast program characterized by the fact that public money was directly invested in favor of private operators in order to allow them to grow. To be more efficient, this policy, implemented 15 years ago, started to focus on a limited number of economic sectors, sectors in which Wallonia already had some assets, but fields that really needed to be considerably boosted in order to experiment real and significant growth for the future. This plan, whose initial objectives start to bear fruits, I think, was also based on the development of new economic practices such as clustering, notably between large and small companies, research institutes, and training centers, practices aiming to promote excellence in Wallonia. As a result of that strategy, 6 so-called competitiveness clusters were created. So a competitiveness cluster is the structure where companies, universities, and research centers meet and develop innovative and creative projects. The ultimate objective being the creation of new economic products and services and the emergence of new world leaders in their fields of activity. That strategy was made possible by the existence and the development of specific ecosystems made of top universities, incubators, science parks, and companies. It does also explain why a lot of spin-offs, startups, and scale-ups tend to develop in Belgium, in Wallonia, and why a lot of them offer innovative and viable projects. There are 6 Walloon competitiveness clusters, and they are active in the following sectors: aeronautics and space industry, agro-food, advanced mechanical engineering, life science, transport and logistics, and environmental technologies. Thanks to the development of those ecosystems promoting innovation and excellence, Wallonia became more attractive to foreign investors, and with time, Wallonia has seen a certain number of significant foreign companies starting a new business in Belgium. In addition, a plan called Digital Wallonia was also launched in order to considerably develop our expertise in the digital sector and focus on new approaches and policies, such as the development of smart cities, for instance. Today, a significant effort is made through a program called Get Up Wallonia on policies based on the economic and social development of Wallonia, with a specific emphasis on sustainable development. That is also a top priority in Europe. So as I said a few moments ago, I think we can consider that so far, the implementation of this new economic strategy has generated some very positive results. If, like other European countries, Belgium is strongly impacted by the health crisis we all face today, governing entities and members of the Walloon health and life science ecosystems showed remarkable reactivity, agility, and creativity to adapt to the situation and find suitable solutions to unexpected problems and urgent needs. Some companies quickly changed their production, for instance, to supply hydroalcoholic gels, masks, face shields, and respirators when our hospitals were badly under pressure. Our universities were mobilized and managed to develop new testing capacities. And a lot of Walloon companies are now totally involved in the development and production of vaccines against COVID-19. On a larger scale, between 35 and 40 companies based in Wallonia are considered today as world leaders in their fields of activity. A lot of them are, of course, active, as you imagine, in the sectors covered by our competitiveness clusters, but others are active in fields such as finance, high-tech, broadcasting, sports, and entertainment, just to name a few. As regards logistics, Wallonia is ideally situated at the heart of Europe. We all know the importance, of course, of the ports of Antwerp and Rotterdam, but it is in Wallonia, and more precisely in Liège, that the river routes linking those 2 major ports to the rest of Europe do meet. Today, the port of Liège is the 3rd European river port of Europe, And the airport of Liège as well is the 6th largest European cargo hub airport. Liège Airport that plays an essential role during this pandemic, as it is considered by the World Health Organization as one of its European hubs for the distribution of vaccines and medical devices related to COVID-19. Liège Airport that has recently been elected as the 2020 best cargo airport in the world during the Air Cargo News Awards. In addition, the recent launching in Liège of a brand new multimodal platform called Trilogy Port should make Wallonia even more attractive as regards logistics. Well, as you all know, next year, one of the most important sporting events, the Football World Cup, will take place in the Middle East in Qatar. Even if the Belgian Devils are very competitive at the moment, and I think they are also world leaders in the FIFA ranking, we are not so sure they will qualify for 2022. We have to wait for the games to be played, of course. Anyway, whatever the situation and performance is, I do hope that some Walloon and Belgian companies will be operating in Qatar. Indeed, for the World Cup in Russia, alongside Barco, world leader in LED screens, Walloon companies such as W&M, a company specialized in audio recordings, and EVS, world leader in video production, were all an integral part of the World Cup TV coverage. And I should not be surprised if the famous TV channels in Europe decide to use the technology of the company Dreamwall, based in Charleroi, to broadcast football coverage using teleportation and augmented reality, as France 2 did during the 2017 presidential elections. Ladies and gentlemen, because the evolution of the pandemic is still very uncertain, it is extremely difficult at this stage to say with great accuracy what will be our program or action plan for the next few months. If AWEX is, of course, determined to fully respect the sanitary rules and regulations that will apply in Belgium as well as in potential target countries, AWEX will do its best to carry on encouraging Walloon companies to be active all over the world and particularly, of course, in the Middle East. Last week, during the Gulf Food Show, AWEX organized through its offices in Dubai a collective booth gathering no less than 14 companies traveling from Wallonia. I think such presence deserves to be mentioned as the number of trade shows and economic events that are maintained at the moment are unfortunately extremely rare. In the near future, we plan to organize other collective pavilions during the Arab Health and MedLab trade shows, next June, I think, in Dubai, and also to be present in the Middle East with Walloon companies during the Big Five show due to be programmed in September, also in Dubai, the GITEX show in October, and finally during Beauty World, a trade show specialized in the cosmetics. And of course, finally, last but not least, Wallonia will also organize in November between the 7th and 13th in the framework of the so-called Dubai 2020 World Expo, a major economic mission covering different sectors of activity. Let's hope, of course, that the sanitary situation will allow us to be rapidly back in business and meet, I hope, in some more traditional circumstances. I really thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Delat, for this presentation. Thank you, Mr. Delat, for this presentation regarding history, the past, today, and the future of Wallonia. And we all know the importance of Wallonia as logistic hub, the importance of Wallonia in innovation in science and technology. Now we will move to the center of Belgium. As you know, Brussels is not only the capital of Belgium, the capital of London, but also the capital of the EU. The importance of Brussels, and it's our pleasure to welcome Mr. Guilain Bredel, Area Manager at Hub Brussels. Please, Guilain, the floor is yours.
Many thanks, Kaiser. I will share you my presentations. Yeah. So many thanks for giving me the opportunity to give you a few words today during this webinar. Thanks to the Arab-Belgian-Luxembourg Chamber of Commerce. I will give you today a quick introduction to the Brussels region, and then I will explain you how Hub Brussels can support your business. And I will conclude with our international agenda, more specifically in Arab country. Even during this difficult period, we still organize events in the Arab countries. But let's start with a short introduction video showing atmosphere image of Brussels. I share you. So hopefully we see picture image of people gathering and having a good time sharing a drink together. Hopefully we will soon be able to do it again. And let's start now with Brussels. It's the capital region of Belgium and the de facto capital of Europe. It's the smallest of the three regions of Belgium at the crossroad of recent Europe's culture. It's a multilingual and second most cosmopolitan city in the world, just after Dubai, as more than 60% of its residents were born in a different country or have a migration background. So Belgium is one of the most open economy in the world, and in Brussels, we easily find a talent pool of multilingual, highly skilled professionals in all sectors. So Mr. Ijazin also already told you that Brussels hosts most of the European institutions, the European Commission, the Parliament, the Council, but also other international organizations such as NATO and 1,500 international associations. It's also one of the most important diplomatic cities in the world, with many embassies from all nations, and you have a direct access to EU decision makers in Brussels and financial instruments. So if you want to be heard in Europe, the best way to do it is to do it from Brussels. Brussels is a service-oriented city. More than 1,500 foreign companies have set up an European headquarters or a sales subsidiary in our region. The region is also a global leader in Congress, but it's a sector facing a deep crisis right now. Let's hope that our hotels, restaurants, museums will soon welcome people from all over the world again. And Brussels is also a pleasant place to live and a family-friendly environment. So it's a green city with lots of park, public and private gardens, and all this for a competitive real estate and cost of life compared to other European cities. So those were just it was just a very quick overview of Brussels. If you have a question to more question about your region, and if you want to start your business in Brussels, don't hesitate to contact my colleague Mohamed Ajam. He's part of our team, Invest team. We have an Invest team helping foreign investors to start their business in Brussels. So he will be really happy to help you. And you have also the possibility to enjoy 3 months cost-free office in our incubator if you pass through his services. So let's continue with the other service and the other things that Hub Brussels can do for you. So our agency, Hub Brussels, it's the business support agency of the region. It's a young agency launched in January 2018. It's the result of the merge of 3 areas of expertise: the foreign trade and investment service of the region, the urban retail and shopping agency, and the agency to guide, support the creation and growth of economic activities in the region. So Brussels support companies in all their stages, from candidate entrepreneurs to startups, from scale-up to SMEs, and so on. And then another service hosted by Hub Brussels is or the 1819 service. I will give you just a few words about this service because they were in the front line during those last months during this pandemic, because it's our business hotline and website to orient and inform entrepreneurs. And they were facing a lot of people in a very difficult situation, and they had the challenging task to inform them and to give them all the good information during this pandemic, and they are still doing it for the moment. So then we have also the agency hosts many areas of expertise to advise companies for their financing, for example, if they're questioning regarding urban planning, legal questions, and so on. And we have also sectoral expertise with different clusters gathering the actors of several ecosystems. For example, we have Screen Brussels is our audiovisual cluster. We have also Software Brussels for all the IT ecosystem, Life Tech Brussels for healthcare, and so on. And we have also a team dedicated to support companies' internationalization. We have staff here in Brussels, but we have also our network of trade attachés all over the world in collaboration with our colleagues and friends from FIT and AWEX. For example, regarding the region that regards today, for North Africa, we have an office managed by FIT in Riyadh. In Dubai, it's by our colleague from AWEX, and in Kuwait, it's we have our own office. In Lebanon, we have also an office in Lebanon, and in North Africa, it's an office managed by FIT in Egypt. We have our own office in Tunisia, and it's AWEX in Morocco. So we are covering all over the region, because some of those offices have several markets, are in charge of several markets. We organize several international events, and so as you know, for the moment, it's mostly online matchmaking events. Normally, we organize economic mission all over the world. For example, the Prince Economic Mission, the last one in an Arabic country was in Morocco. We take part also to state visits in collaboration with all the Belgian entities. And then I will give you a few words about the next international events that we organize in Arab countries. So we organize every Thursday noon what we call export talks. Those are free webinars to realize your export project. So feel free to subscribe if you are interested. The next one will be tomorrow. It will be about the international mechanism of payment. You will find all the information about the website. We organize also, as I told you, matchmaking online event. The next one will be for the food sector, and we will put some Belgium Brussels producer with food industry buyers from all over the world. This event will include, for example, Tunisia and GCC countries. It will be in June. Dominique told you about the trade fair that we are where we are organizing Belgian Pavilion. We will participate. It will be in live. We hope so. In June, it will be the Arab Health show. And then in October, we will organize also a Belgian Pavilion during the JITEC Technology Week. And around this trade fair, we will organize a tech mission in Dubai and in Bahrain. So it will be focusing on legal tech, proper tech, and fintech. So those were the events that we are planning this year. And for next year, for begin 2022, we will organize what we call the Brussels Day during the Expo in Dubai. So I will give you just a few more words after that. And we are also planning an economic mission in Morocco. This mission was planned in May this year, but we had to postpone it. So we hope that we will be able to organize it next year, a Brussels economic mission to Morocco. So regarding the Brussels Day in Dubai, it will be an event organized jointly with our Tourism and MICE Bureau, Visit Brussels, with our external relation department, Brussels International. And it will be an event focusing and to put Belgium and Brussels on the spotlight during the Expo in Dubai. And we will focus on several sectors. We will promote Belgian Brussels exclusive products, fashion, design, and food products. We will also organize several activities in the construction sector and in the mobility sector, because the Belgian pavilion is in the mobility area of the Expo. So yes, it will be the perfect event to gather again. We organize those Brussels Day every year. Last year we organized it in Washington, in Tokyo, in New York. And so let's hope that the edition 2022 in Dubai will be a great success, and that we will be able to have an event without all those restrictions with the COVID pandemic. And so it was really a quick presentation about our services and our next action in the Arab countries. Don't hesitate to contact me and to register to our newsletter if you want to have more information. And many thanks.
Thank you, Ghislaine, for this presentation. You explain your professionalism, your expertise to support SMEs, startup, large companies, and also foreign investors who would like to invest in Brussels or in Belgium. And we see how your presence in Arab countries in collaboration with other foreign trade agencies. Now we will move from the center of Belgium to the north of Belgium, where generosity and efficiency, where tradition will meet innovation. And it will be our pleasure to welcome Evelyn Stalins. But before giving the floor, let me present you our congratulations for your upgrading for a new position at FEET. We appreciate, as you are a member of our board, Evelyn. 2 weeks ago, you was the moderator and I was the speaker. Today is change. I am the moderator, you are the speaker. Please, the floor is yours.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Kaiser. Let me start by sharing the screen. And that should be okay. So here we go. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, also a very good afternoon on my behalf. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce to you the northern part of Belgium, the Flanders region, which is, as one of our marketing slogans suggests, generously efficient. And contrary to most slogans, this one is actually absolutely true. And I will even try to prove that to you with this presentation, because I only have a 10-minute speaking slot, which is by far not enough to explain to you all the trumps of Flanders. And in those same 10 minutes, I would also like to tell you a little bit more about our current trade relations with the Arab world, and most importantly, what Flanders investment and trade can do for you. As we have quite an international audience today, which is perhaps not or less familiar with Flanders, I want to start off with showing you one of our branding movies. It was actually made a couple of years ago, and I'm fully aware that trying to show movies on Zoom is sometimes a very bad idea, so I do hope this goes well. But this is actually not a very traditional branding movie, and it will give you a good feeling as to what Flanders feels like and looks like, so you can put that on your go-to list whenever travel becomes less worrisome. It's also somewhat of a feel-good movie, and I guess these days everyone can also use a little bit of that as well. So here goes.
This is our land, a peculiar patch of earth, filled with possibilities, inspired by tradition. We love the little things in life. We enjoy working hard when we believe in what we're working toward. We always move forward and leave no one behind. We are Flanders. Sure, as the northern part of Belgium, Flanders is ideally situated between Amsterdam, London, Paris, and Berlin. Our roads, our railways, our ports, and our airports form one of the world's best transportation networks. And through the ages, innovators from Flanders have given the world modern map-making techniques, plastics, the contraceptive pill, the World Wide Web, and self-learning microchips. But we're also creators, team players. We struggle and we share. We take risks and care for each other. But above all, we work. Flanders has one of the world's most productive workforces in life sciences, the automotive industry, nanoelectronics, and chemical production. Right here is where you'll find some of the hardest and smartest workers. We don't shout from rooftops, and we don't pursue prizes, but our ambition reaches across the world. We say, strike a deal over a good meal. We're a warm people, especially around the dinner table. So, get a taste of our work. Appreciate the little things, and spend your time in good company. We don't pursue progress for the sake of progress. We're driven by possibility, inspired by tradition. We aim to shape the future, actively, together, on this peculiar patch of earth that we call home.
It's amazing the story you can tell in just 3 minutes time. But of course, there is much more. The movie already hinted at our strong sectors: food, life sciences and health, sustainable materials, resources and chemistry, smart logistics, and solution-driven technology and engineering. Now, if you're looking for more details on the Flanders economy, our ecosystems, our key players, be it research centers, ports, universities, incubators, world-class companies, etc., do check out our website investinflanders.be, where you will find a lot of information on sectors or activities mentioning the different fields of expertise and innovation that you can find in Flanders. If you or companies from your countries are looking for a foothold in Europe and are considering to invest in this wonderful part of Belgium, do reach out to us. We can help you get in touch with the right players, set up a visiting program, and let us convince you that Flanders is the right place for you to set up your business. Now, apart from attracting foreign investments to our region, it is also our mission to support Flanders-based companies in doing business abroad, because exports is truly vital for our region. Belgium is one of the top exporting countries in the world, and our per capita export figure is even higher than Germany's. 1 out of 3 jobs in the Flanders region is directly or indirectly related to exports, so that is huge. As 2020 has been quite an exceptional year, it is worthwhile to take a closer look at some of the figures as to how our trade with the Arab countries has fared the past year. Before we dive into figures, just for your information, our main export products worldwide are made of chemicals and pharmaceuticals, very relevant these days, transport equipment and machinery. And those same categories also make up the top 3 export sectors when it comes to the Arab world. Now, when we look at some trade statistics now with the MENA region, the numbers we currently have are those from January till November 2020. What can we say about that? They are less bad than what we had expected at the beginning of the pandemic, but nevertheless, the numbers for 2020 are not good for sure. But still, we do see the air clearing up. The last months of 2020, our export performance is picking up again, with November seeing a decline with only 1.4% compared to the last year. Our exports to both the Middle East and North Africa have held up considerably well, doing better than average actually. On the import side, it's a very different story, where imports from the Middle East specifically have dropped significantly, and that has mainly to do with the demand in oil and gas that has dropped. Here we see the top 10 of our export and import markets in the MENA region. Our top 3 has remained quite stable over the years. And also here on the import side, you clearly see the decline for the oil and gas exporting countries. Now, for those of you interested in the numbers, all these figures can be found in much more detail on our website. And that brings me to perhaps the most important question for today. What can we at Flanders Investment and Trade do for you? First of all, we are located close to our customers. With 5 offices in each provincial capital, we are close to Flanders-based companies, and our advisors on international trade are the first point of contact for Flemish companies that have questions on doing business abroad, on export. And apart from that, we are also close to the markets with our truly worldwide network of economic representatives and science and technology offices. And of course, also in the Middle East and North Africa, we have our network on the ground, together, as Guilain mentioned, with our colleagues from the Brussels and the Walloon region. Our officers abroad are really our eyes and ears on a foreign market. They have a good insight into the local opportunities and challenges, and they also have a large local network for you to tap into. So whether you are a Flemish company looking into expanding your business to new markets, or whether you are a foreign company looking for a foothold in Europe, do go talk to them and get their advice, totally free of charge. And when and if in 2021 you can again hop on a plane on a prospection trip or off to an international trade fair, do check out our website flanderstrade.be to see if you are eligible for some financial support. Also on the website you can find all the contact details of our offices abroad if you want to reach out to them directly. On that same website, you will also find our program of events for 2021. We're still hopeful that the vaccination campaign will get underway and that for the second semester, we will see a lot of improvement. And for the MENA region, our main focus will be on the United Arab Emirates with a presence at the large trade fairs, Arab Health, the Big Five, and WETEX, hopefully coming up. And of course, our main event of the year will be also our presence on Expo 2020 Dubai, with the Flanders Week scheduled from the 24th till the 28th of October. So everyone is most welcome to join us there. Apart from that, we are closing off the year with a start to export mission to Egypt together with our partner VOCA Antwerp. Do stay in touch with us, whether by email, checking our websites, or by following us on our social media channels. We are happy to keep you informed of new business opportunities and support you in every way we can to be successful on foreign markets. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda, for this presentation. I can see that your exports to the world are decreased by 10%, but at the same time, your export to the Arab countries, they decreased by 4 or 5% only. That's been less than to the world. And your imports from all the world decreased by 10%, and your imports from North Africa decreased by 7%, but from the Middle East, they increased by 40%, I think, due to the price of oil and crude oil. That's mean Arab countries remain rewarding and reliable partner. I see that. Thank you for this presentation. We don't speak about the place of Flanders and Belgium regarding the production of the vaccine. It's really one of the world center of the production of vaccine. We will not go through, but that's mean it must be mentioned also. Thank you very much, Deedleen. And now we will move from our partners to the very, very important industrial sector. It's very important not only for Belgium, Europe, it's also very important for the Arab world, because in our daily life we need this sector, because we're speaking about the food industry, and FEVIA is the Belgian Food Industry Federation. It represents about the turnover of this industry is about 55 billion euros. You imagine, and it's creating 95,000 jobs. That's been one of the largest industrial sector. It's our pleasure and honor. I think there is a room for cooperation between Arab countries and Belgium in this field. And now it's our pleasure and honor to welcome Ms. Tine van der Wilden, International Development Manager of FEVIA. Please, Tine, the floor is yours.
Thank you all. Do you see my screen correctly right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kaiser, for introducing us and for inviting us as well to this webinar. And thank you for the Chamber for organizing this webinar. Also, thank you to the other speakers, because we as FEVIA, as a Federation for the Belgian food industry, We work a lot with all the colleagues that you heard today of the export agencies. So it's very nice that you give us the opportunity to present ourselves and have a bit of a sector-specific point of view today in your webinar. So thank you for this. Maybe a short introduction about FEVIA. So we are the Federation of the Belgian Food Industry, and we represent companies active in the production and processing of food and beverages in Belgium. We have about 700 members at FEVIA, so we are a member organization. The food producers can become a member of FEVIA. So we're not a government institution, we represent a private sector. We are the largest industrial sector. We have 21.5% of total turnover of all the industries in Belgium. We are also the largest employer, with 1 in 5 of the jobs in the in the industrial sector in Belgium. We have 27 sub-federations, actually, so some of them are quite large, and you might know them individually. For instance, the Belgian brewers, or Choprabisco, that's everything that's related to sweets and biscuits. Also, the dairy sector is very large. We also have smaller subsectors. So we bring them all together. But this is a way of showing you that we have different types of products, but they all have a processing element in them. So that's very important to note. As FEVIA, we have several domains of expertise, and I will talk to you about 2 of these domains. A bit on the suggestion of Kaiser, as well as the interests that you have from your side. Of course, about export, but also on food safety. Maybe to begin with food safety. So it's very important for you to understand that this is regulated at a European level. So we have at the European level the General Food Law from 2002, and that is the basis for everything. We also have the European Food Safety Authority. This is an institution that will give advice and studies on food safety. So it's regulated at the European level, and there we have a self-checking system, autocontrole, as we say in Dutch. This means that as a producer, you are responsible to make sure that your product complies with the legal requirements on food safety, quality, and traceability. And this is all based on the hazard analysis and critical control points. So this is a risk assessment mechanism that we have in Europe. Now, how do we go about this in Belgium? We have a self-checking system which is validated by the Federal Agency for the Safety of the Food Chain. And we have per sector, so as I said, we have different sub-federations per sector per product type. We have sector guides with the legal obligations on hygiene, traceability, and the self-checking rules. The companies take regular samples of their products, and there's an annual audit by the Federal Agency for the Safety of the Food Chain. So everyone is checked once a year. We also have the obligation as a companies to report if there is a problem or there might be a problem with a certain product. Then we immediately have to report this to the Federal Agency for the Safety of the Food Chain on the Belgium side. And if it's necessary, they will alert the European institution and the rapid alert system. So this is very important for you to understand that we are regulated on a European level, but we have a certain way of going about it in Belgium as well. Maybe some key figures. Our turnover as a sector is 54.9 billion annually, of which almost half of this is generated through export. So that's very important for you to know that we are very much an export-driven sector. Our main export destinations, you can see them here, are mainly the North Americas, but also Asia is very important for us. And then in your region, Saudi Arabia is also a very important export destination for us. Here I noted all the data that we have on the food products that we export to your countries of the representatives who are joining this meeting today. I will not go into the details of all of them, but I understand that Sonia will give you the presentations afterwards. So you can look in the details on your own time. And if you have any questions on this, you can ask me later. As you see, to most countries, we have mainly a movement of goods that is from our side to your side, so mainly export driven, except for Morocco and Egypt and Tunisia, where you see more of a balance between import and export. So with each slide, you see as well the main export products in our sector, which products that we export to these countries. This year, we as FEVIA have a focus on the Gulf region, and that's a bit as the colleagues of the export agencies already explained. That's mainly because of course, the expo in Dubai. We will organize here in Belgium 2 webinars, one for our Flemish members and one for the Walloon members, where we'll talk with them about the opportunities in the Gulf region. And this is a bit the launch of the different initiatives that there will be during Expo Dubai. As Evelyn explained, there will be a Flemish week. Mr. Delattre already said a Walloon week, and Gila mentioned the Brussels Days. And we will organize with our Flemish pillar in FEVIA also a separate retail study trip in November. And then with all of them together, we will organize a Taste of Belgium event during Gulf Food next year. So we really hope to be able to meet as many of you as possible then. I just want to finish with a couple of words on how we portray ourselves internationally. So we use the brand Food.be small country grade foods. That you can see here. And the basis of all of this is a website that we have. I included a video in the presentation. I will try if it works. If it doesn't, I will just continue. Just give me a signal if it wouldn't work.
Small country,
Great food.
So maybe in this video, you already saw certain elements about the Belgian food sector that you didn't know yet. And that's exactly the point, because we want to make sure that everyone knows that we produce a different range of products here in Belgium that are all very on high quality, because we are mostly known for our main ambassadors, our classics, chocolates, beers, the Belgian fries. But we are also very strong in other products. And that's a bit what we want to portray with Food.be, that we have a very diverse sector and that's very export driven. Sorry. The basis of all the information that you can find on the Belgian food producers is on the Food.be website. And we like to describe the website as the reference site for Belgian food and beverages. There you can find the profiles of producers of Belgian food and beverages. And meanwhile, there's already more than 1,300 companies on this website. And via the search engine, you can really see who is exporting, for example, their product to your country as well. And you can search on a specific product or topic that you're interested in. So please visit the website, and there you can find a lot of information on Belgian food and beverages. Please also, if you're interested in our sector and want to stay updated, please register for our newsletter. We just launched it a couple of weeks ago. I added the link here so you can register, and then we will give you a newsletter. It will probably be every 3 months that we will send out a new newsletter with interesting stories, fun facts, information, events about the food sector. You also see all our social media links here. The LinkedIn account is also new, so please also follow us on LinkedIn to be updated. Here I finish with my contact details. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me an email. Thank you again for your attention. If you have any questions for me, I'll take them after the other presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tine, for this presentation. We see the expertise of your federation, sustainability, in food health, safety, environment, all of that. And also thank you for the video. You show us all what we love, you know, with fresh fries, fruit, and chocolates, and nice restaurant. Thank you a lot. I think, as I just mentioned, we are pleased today to welcome His Excellency Mr. Saleh Al-Shenefri. He is the CEO of Omani Food Investment Company. He will be delighted and I'm pleased to put you in contact with each other, because there's a room of cooperation between you two parties. As you know, in Arab countries, we are really looking for a cooperation, not only cooperation figures, import and export. We are looking also a cooperation in field of partnership, for long-term partnership. That's what we are looking for. Thank you indeed. And now we will move to the fourth speaker. Now we will move to our partner, the Federation of Belgian Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Christophe Coulis. He will present us the problematic question of certificates of origin, preferential and no-preferential certificates of origin, the digital chambers, so also on your export and imports in full security. As you know, in Belgium, the Ministry of Economic Affairs is the ability to issue the certificate of origin, but the certificates are issued by the local Chamber of Commerce. And now, please, Christophe, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Yazin. Good afternoon to you all. This is not so interesting as everything that you've seen until now. This is really the dry stuff, but that's my job. I like it. We're talking about certificates of origin here. So we're talking about customs. We're talking about exporting goods to third countries. And when you deal with customs, three things are very important to calculate taxes, and that's the most important job of customs. It's the value of the goods, it's the origin of the goods, and it's what they call the HS classification of the goods. What we're talking here is about origin. We've got two types of origin, the non-preferential origin and the preferential origin. Preferential origin, I think at this moment is quite hot in the press. All these trade agreements you hear about with Japan, with Vietnam, and you've got also a lot of bilateral free trade agreements between Arab countries and other third countries. We are not talking about this kind of origin here. We're talking about a non-preferential origin. It's what we call the nationality of the goods. And they are important for what we call the non-tariff trade measures, anti-dumping, origin marking, but also quite known in the press thanks to Mr. Trump. So non-preferential certificates of origin in Belgium, they certify the origin of the non-preferential origin of goods, and we're not talking about services. They are required by the country of import, so the country of destination. And most Arab countries are requiring a non-preferential certificate of origin. It's the competence of the Federal Public Service of Economy, but it's chambers who've got the mandate to issue them, together with HRD in Antwerp, who's competent for diamond. So the local chambers of commerce, they are competent for all goods except for diamonds. Today, we issue around 400,000 COs worldwide. That's the number for 2020. 10 years ago, people told me, in 10 years, these certificates will disappear. I think we nearly doubled in 20 years' time. So this is how the document looks like. This is our top 15 destination of Belgium certificates of origin, highlighted Arab countries. So there are a lot of Arab countries in the top 15. This is our digital tool to issue certificates of origin. We are very proud of it. It's launched in 2009. At this moment, it's already a second version. It's endorsed by our Ministry of Economy. That's very important to us. We were in 2009 also finalist for the European e-Government Awards. And in 2013, we implemented it in Luxembourg. So our Luxembourg colleagues are using the same platform. 2013, we were accredited by the International Chamber of Commerce with their quality label for certificates of origin. Important here, because I don't want to talk about the advantages for companies. I think every company knows what the importance is of digitalization, certainly in this period. But for authorities, our system allows foreign authorities to check the authenticity of a certificate of origin, a paper certificate of origin, online. And we offer two possibilities, two platforms. We've got, as you see here, our own platform, the Verify website, and we have also a platform from the International Chamber of Commerce where you can check the authenticity of our certificates of origin. This is the verification webpage of DigiChambers, that's our own, and we've got, as you see, an Arab version of it. This is the website from ICC, where you can also check the validity of our authenticity of our certificates of origin. This was, in short, the most important elements about our certificates of origin. We consider it as very important for the international competitiveness of our companies. We want to offer them a proper service. Here, I will end my presentation with a video explaining once again how DigiChambers work. So I hope it works.
Where were these decorations made? Where was this furniture produced? The place where these goods were produced is called the origin. Customs authorities may ask for a certificate of origin as proof. The customs officer will want to check if the certificate is trustworthy and authentic. This is where the Chambers of Commerce and DigiChambers come in. Chambers of Commerce worldwide are entrusted with issuing certificates of origin. Chambers of Commerce know how to deal with complex situations. They know how to deal with large quantities too. The Belgian Chambers of Commerce issue more than 500,000 certificates and invoices per year. This is possible thanks to its 24/7 online application called DigiChambers, endorsed by the Ministry of Economy and accredited by the International Chamber of Commerce, or ICC. This digital, intuitive and user-friendly tool offers you a clear and clever real-time dashboard. You can generate a highly secure, ready-to-share PDF file. You prefer a print version? No worries. DigiChambers has got you covered. We take into account your needs and how you work. Thanks to a state-of-the-art API, DigiChambers facilitates complete integration with your ERP systems, covering the process end-to-end. DigiChambers also integrates with your custom software. Like you, we are looking to the future. We are ready for blockchain. We know that time and money count. DigiChambers saves both. We help build trust. Customs authorities can verify certificates online, making it easy and secure for them too. Today, DigiChambers is used by more than 5,000 companies, representing more than 95% of all the certificates of origin issued by the Belgian Chambers of Commerce. So, what are you waiting for?
Okay. Thanks for your attention. And I'm checking if...
Where were these decorations?
Okay. Here are my contact details, and if you would have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us. It's a generic mail, digichambers@belgiumchambers.be. So there's always somebody who will answer your questions. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Christoph, for this practical presentation. As you know, the importance of certificate of origin in export, and you have to know also in imports, you know, the Arab countries, they are using the same system. When you want to export from any Arab countries to Europe, you need to pass through the local chamber of commerce, and you can use the same system, large number. But I think there is an advance in Belgium in terms of digital certification, because we have to learn a lot from your side. I thank you again, Christoph. We have long-term cooperation with the Federation, and we would like to take this opportunity to thank Arab Chamber of Commerce for their support, and to the Chamber of Commerce and their trust, because you know, large number of Arab countries need our certification on certificate of origin. Thank you a lot. And now we will move to the second part of our presentation, after thanking our partners, AWEX, Hub Brussels, FEED, and FEVIA, and the Chamber of Commerce, and we move to our partners. As you know, we have today the participation of about 18 or 20 Arab embassies here. It's really, we are pleased and honored to welcome all of you. And as you know, some of you will take the floor to present themselves and to take the floor 2, 3, 4 minutes to present the priorities and the priorities in their own countries. And now we will move to this part. And as just mentioned, the third part will be the presentation of Oman. And now we will start by alphabetical order. As I just mentioned, we will start by the first country, by Algeria. Algeria, it's our great pleasure to welcome Mr. Radwan Mohub. He is the Foreign Affairs Secretary, and he will be also accompanied by Madame Salwa Hosna, Commercial Attaché, friends since many, many years. As you know, will not present Algeria. As you know, Algeria, it's a neighbor country. I think it's the largest Arab country with 45 million inhabitants, with a potential, very, very large potential, not only in chemicals, petrochemicals, oil and gas, but also there is a potential in agriculture field, in renewable energy, in tourism, so on, so on. And the situation of Algeria, the position of Algeria between Europe and Africa. I give the floor now to Mr. Radwan Mohub. Please, the floor is yours. He's there. Please.
Okay. Thank you for giving me the floor, and thank you for introducing myself and my colleague, Ms. Husna. Mr. Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Before pronouncing my little speech, I would like to convey to you the greetings of our newly designated Ambassador, His Excellency Mohammed Hannash, who will very soon present his credential letter. Regarding to our webinar subject, I will obviously focus on three main issues pointed out in the Chamber's invitation. First of all, I would like to remind the size of the Algerian market, which counts more or less 44 million of consumers and of an emerging and dynamic market located in the heart of North Africa, linked to the Arab world, Africa, and Europe. Since the beginning of 2020, the legal framework has been changed to open more widely our market to the foreign investment. Consequently, the main rule known as 5149 has been repealed, except for 5 few sectors, 5 not to mention them. I must underline that Algeria is a free market where you can freely purchase, invest, sell, buy, import, and export. On the other hand, the legal framework is under deep review in order to enhance and deepen the attractivity of the market and make it more competitive and sustainable in a way that foreign investors would be able to develop their activities within this market. Regarding the sectors, allow me to draw your attention on the fields of interest for Algeria, mainly connected to digital economy. Indeed, it is a key sector of the President Tebboune program in liaison with the startup system and the further connectivity of the nation. Added to that, the expansion of small and medium companies generating growth and employment is a priority. Allow me to underline the major commitment to make of Algeria an economic hub between Europe and Africa via Trans-Saharan Highway, which link Lagos to Algiers, port of Shershel, which will make Algeria very competitive in the terms of logistic and goods transport between Europe and sub-Saharan region. Having said that, I would like to invite the Belgian companies to take more advantage of the Algerian market and the important new opportunities which are offered. In fact, nearly 80 Belgian companies are already operating in the Algerian market to the mutual satisfaction, and our wish is obviously to increase substantially this number so that we'll be talking about hundreds. This is our hope, and I can assure you of our commitment to strengthen businesses and cooperation between our companies. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for this presentation, and congratulations and wishing a warm and welcome for the new ambassador. It will be my pleasure to pay a visit to His Excellency and to your embassy. As you know, a long relation between our two institutions, and I see the new foreign investment laws 4951 is now caduc, as you mentioned. It's very, very important to attracting, and it's very important to be known by the business community here in Belgium and in Europe. Thank you a lot. Now we move to Bahrain. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Bassam Marzouk, consular at the Embassy of Bahrain. I don't know if he will take the floor or not. Otherwise, everybody knows Bahrain is it's a small country, but it's really one of the first countries of the region where he started the diversification of his economy. As you know, Bahrain, it's a small country, I just mentioned, but it's one of the world's largest country in aluminium sector also. And as you know, the banking sector is very, very important, well developed. And Bahrain, it's our pleasure also to welcome Her Excellency Madam Ambassador Bahia Jishi. I don't know if she's with us today or not. Please, Bassam, I don't know if you want to take the floor or we...
Actually, good afternoon, Mr. Hijazin. Thank you for giving me the floor. I wasn't expected to take the floor, but I would like to extend Her Excellency greetings. Unfortunately, she couldn't attend this meeting. I would like to thank you. I would like to thank the speaker for giving us this information, or this such important information that we in the embassy we're gonna send it to the relevant authorities and parties in Bahrain. As you know, Bahrain is a very small country. It has a diverse economy, depending on services, technology, and like you said, we have one of the biggest aluminum company in the region, if I wasn't mistaken. And also we are focusing on the banking sector. And one of the most important thing in Bahrain that we're focusing also on the banking Islamic sector, the banking Islamic. So, and I would like also to thank the speaker for giving us their contact information. This is going to make it easier for us to contact them in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bassam. Yes, I just mentioned the importance of Bahrain as an international center for Islamic banking, and there is a room of cooperation with this another small country near here. It's Luxembourg, and we will be pleased to make the connection between Bahrain and Luxembourg. Now we'll move to another country, from Bahrain, a small country, to another country in the between Europe, between Asia, between Africa. The situation of Egypt, everybody will know, is the largest market in the Arab world, with more than 100 million consumer, or the population of Egypt. That is the geopolitical situation of Canal of Suez of Egypt. And as you know, the new discovery of gas in Egypt make Egypt very, very important country. And as I have to see the large number of Belgian companies, they are start working more and more with Egypt. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome His Excellency Mr. Yahya Al-Wathiq Billah, Minister Plenipotentiary of Economic and Commercial Affairs, and he will be the other side, and also to welcome Mr. Mahmoud Amin, the commercial diplomat at the embassy also. Please, Mr. Yahya, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Hajazin. Good afternoon to you all. I would like to thank Mr. Hajazin and the ABLCC staff for organizing this important seminar at this critical time that we are passing through, and wish you all a successful event. And actually, I will pass the floor to my colleague, Mr. Mahmoud Amin, who would give you a quick background about the trade and economic relations between Egypt and Belgium. Thank you so much, and wish you a successful event.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yahya. Thank you, Mr. Hijazin. Dear all, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for these inspiring presentations done by our main stakeholders in Belgium. First, I would like to introduce myself. I am Mahmoud Amin, commercial diplomat at the Egyptian Embassy in Brussels. I have been appointed here in this position 1 month ago. Thus, I do believe that it's an attractive opportunity, not only for me, but for all of us to join such an outstanding event. Moreover, I would like to thank ABLCC for inviting us today in this event that gathers the Arab commercial diplomats who are based in Brussels, together with some of the most important trade and investment agencies in Belgium. Allow me first to inform you that the growth rate in Egypt reached 3.6% in the fiscal year 2019-2020. And actually, this is one of the highest growth rates worldwide, taking into consideration the negative circumstances caused by the COVID-19. This info takes us to the reform program that Egypt has conducted in 2016, which in turn reflects on many production and innovative sectors like ICT, constructions, energy, transportation, roads and ports, chemicals, and so on. Allow me also to give you some insights on the trade and investment ties between Egypt and Belgium. The trade volume between Egypt and Belgium have reached about 1.7 billion euros in 2019. But as a matter of fact, this figure doesn't reflect the real capabilities between the real trade capabilities between Egypt and Belgium. So we shall to cooperate to boost and diversify the trade relations in the coming years. On the other hand, Belgium ranked number 12 in the list of countries that have investments in Egypt, according to the FDI stock. The Belgian investments in Egypt amount to about 700 million euros in 2018. These investments are specialized in many sectors, for instance, construction, finance, tourism, chemicals, engineering, and many more. In this regard, Egypt is always keen to invite the Belgian companies to invest in many of its promising sectors nowadays, such as automotive, ICT, renewable energy, such as the green one, food processing, mining, pharmaceutical, transportations, and logistics. Finally, I would like to assure that the ongoing communication between the Egyptian and Belgian sides would facilitate a mutually rewarding cooperation, and that there are many untapped opportunities in our countries, as well as new ones that we can work on together. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a successful event.
Thank you, Mr. Mahmoud, and welcome in Belgium. I think maybe it's your first participation at the seminar or gathering in Belgium. It's our pleasure to welcome you and hope to see you in the near future. As you know, usually every year we receive delegation from EBA in Belgium, collaboration with the Embassy of Egypt. But as you know, unfortunately, this year it will be difficult. Last year, 2020, it was difficult to move, and hope in the near future we will meet all of you from Arab embassies. Will be my pleasure, really my honor to organize a physical presentation with our members, with our partners. Thank you indeed, and most welcome.
Thank you.
And now we move to Iraq. I am pleased and honored to welcome. She's there or not? Yeah. We have Madame Miriam Al-Sheikh. She's the first secretary of the Embassy of Iraq. She's joining us also today. Welcome, ahlan wa sahlan, Madame Miriam Al-Sheikh. You are most welcome. As you know, Iraq is the fourth largest country with crude oil reserve. That's mean the importance of this sector. And the most important thing to know is the low extraction cost in the crude oil in Iraq. Iraq also have a strong growth of labor force, and actually they benefit of the international finance support. And we hope and we see that Iraq now is covering more and more, and there is a large room of opportunities in Iraq in different fields, you know, in water treatment, in electricity, in infrastructure, so on. There is a large opportunity. The market of Iraq is so important for Belgium. I don't know if Madame Miriam Sheikh will take the floor or not. I don't know. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hijazin, and thanks for all the speakers and the Belgian speakers, and thank you for a very informative event. Actually, as you mentioned it, Iraq is a pricing market and a pricing country, and it's open for investment, it's open market, and it's open Actually, we are in the very first stage of, still in the first stage of the building our capabilities and everything in every sectors. We welcome the investments from European countries. We have our partnership agreement with the European Union, and very welcome an investment from Belgian partners. And actually, we are working on this. We are working with the trade ministries and all the other economic players in country to provide a good field for the foreign investors to come to our countries, and not just the market, and especially the industry sector as well. Thank you very much. Thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Madam Sheikh. Really, we hope that Iraq will recover, and they are recovering soon. I am sure. And the importance I just mentioned of Iraq, you know, relation between Belgium and Iraq, and I remember I am an old man now. Huh? I remember a couple of years, many years ago, a very large number of Belgian companies execute a project in Akashat, Al-Qaim, so on, and the potential of Iraq in the field of oil and gas and electricity, so on. Ahlan wa sahlan. Thank you, Madam Sheikh. Now we will move to another country nearby Iraq. I don't know if everybody knows Jordan. Me, I know it very well. I don't know why. As it's really my pleasure and honor to welcome my friend, my brother, Mr. Osama Al-Mashini, Second Secretary, and he will speak about our Jordan. I will not speak about my country because, you know, I love my country, but be sure, I love all other Arab countries like mine. Be sure. When we organize as a chamber in activity in one Arab country, this country, that day is our country, all of us. All my staff, they know that we don't have any orientation for one country, but it's normal that I love my country, and I am so sorry I cannot visit now, but hope to visit soon. I will not go further speaking about Jordan, but I give the floor to Mr. Osama Al-Mashini. Please, Osama, the floor is yours. تفضل, أخ Osama.
Thank you, أخوي قيصر. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for preparing such informative and great event. We have learned a lot, and thank you for sharing your contact details. As my colleague stressed out, we will forward it to the relevant authorities back in Jordan. Today, I will just, I hope my presentation will be brief. I'll just speak briefly about the trade relations between Jordan and Belgium, and then I will move into the investment and business environment in Jordan to present to the participants. As for the Jordan and Belgian trade relations, chemical products constitutes the bulk of imports and exports between the two countries. Compared to the main European countries, Belgium ranks fourth in terms of exports to Jordan, after France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. But as more interesting to note is that Belgium was over the last few years the main importer of Jordanian products among European countries, noting that there is a good number of Jordanian companies that deal with Belgian companies and represent them in Jordan, in addition to a presence of a number of Belgian companies located in Jordan. Now, I'll move to the favorable investment and business environment in Jordan. Jordan is increasingly gaining popularity as an international business and investment hub. It has a unique combination of attributes that creates an attractive environment for foreign business and investment. It offers world-class infrastructure and communication, competitive human resources, ease of licensing and registration procedures, and free repatriation of capital, profits, and salaries. Jordan was ranked in the top 10 on the region as the ease of doing business in the Doing Business 2019 report published by the World Bank Group. This is due to the implementation of reforms and enforcement of laws to protect investors and enhance business environment in Jordan. Why Jordan? First reason is security and stability. Despite regional turmoil, Jordan continues to be a point of attraction for foreign investors who view the country as an oasis of peace in a volatile region and continuously tries to maintain stability, moderation, and security. Second reason is strong banking and financial institutions. Jordan enjoys a very well-developed banking sector by regional standards and global standards, with a wide array of business, investment, and retail services. Both local and international banks are operational in Jordan and growing. There are 25 banks in Jordan, 16 Jordanian banks, out of which 3 are Islamic banks and 9 non-Jordanian banks. The third reason is education and labor excellence. Youth element in Jordan. 70% of the population being under the age of 30. Jordan is in particular has only 3% of the MENA region's population. However, it hosts around 10% of all universities in the Arab world. Jordanian education is renowned regionally as highly advanced and graduate, highly skilled and innovative professionals in the healthcare, engineering, and IT fields. In addition, Jordan labor markets ranks high in terms of quality of higher education and on-the-job training. The fourth reason is modern infrastructure. According to the World Bank same report, Jordan continues to benefit from a stable and efficient institutional system and good infrastructure, innovation, and business sophistication. Jordan is heavily investing in integrating different technologies into Jordan's leading economy sectors, such as health, education, energy, transport, finance, and communication. The sixth reason is quality of life. Investing and doing business in Jordan is simple and straightforward, but we know that life is more than simply work. Jordan offers a diverse, tolerant, and family-friendly environment with all conveniences of the 21st century. The sixth reason is investor-friendly environment, protective reforms and policies. The Jordanian government has focused on reforms and investment policies aimed at liberalization of trade, investment procedures, and elimination of trade barriers, encouragement of foreign investment, encouragement of private sector, privatization of previously owned governmental projects, implementation of stronger trademark and copyright laws, and finally, reduction of import tariffs. And for those who seek preferential tax rates, Jordan offers a number of this is the seventh reason, by the way. Jordan offers a number of special economic zones, special economic and development zones distributed in various locations in the kingdom. And the investment window of the investment commission, offers simple and fast registration and licensing service to companies operating in the development and free zones. Free zones facilitates transit of goods, stimulate economic activity, and plays a significant role in contributing and strengthening Jordan's position as a center of trade. For the tax preferential rates for the development zones, you can benefit from 5% tax income generated from all economic activities undertaken in the zones. Income tax exemptions on profit generated from certain economic activities in the development zones. 5% income tax for income generated from all manufacturing activities. Reduction to 0% on sales tax for goods and services used by the enterprise for business purposes within the zone, and 7% sales tax on specific services offered by registered establishments in the zones. Custom duty exemptions except for certain goods. As for the free zones, not the development zones, you can enjoy income tax exemption on profit generated from certain economic activities, 0% sales tax on services offered by registered establishments in the zone, in the free zones, 0% sales tax on goods consumed by registered establishment in the zone for business purposes, and income tax exemption on foreign workers' remuneration, and finally exemptions from custom duties. In a nutshell, foreign investments enjoy incentives and benefits offered by the investment law, including exemptions from custom duties, general sales tax, and in some cases, reduction on outcome tax. No restrictions on foreign ownership except in a limited number of economic activities where Jordanian partner is required. Investments in development zones and free zones can be wholly owned by foreign investors. Foreign investors enjoy privileged and guarantee, including national treatment, free movement of capital, protection against expropriation, and options to resort alternative dispute settlements mechanisms. Foreign investments enjoy facilitation, registered and licensing services provided by the Investment Window Department of the Jordan Investment Commission, in addition to support in obtaining visas and residency permits for investors, their families and employees, as well as other services. No restriction on capital transfer and repatriation of profit. 117 nationalities in industrial and service sectors own companies in Jordan. The Jordan Investment Commission investment window department is one-stop shop for investors or businesses seeking to register their businesses in a streamlined manner that takes less than 7 days. Finally, I hope I could present you with a comprehensive brief regarding how you should invest in Jordan. The embassy stands ready to assist you and your business leaders here in Belgium in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Osama, for this presentation, and hope to see more and more tourism in Jordan and more Jordanian coming to Belgium also. Thank you very much indeed. Now we will move to our friends to Kuwait. I think we will be pleased to welcome Mr. Hamad Al-Kandari, the Second Secretary. He will be accompanied by Mr. Mahmoud Al-Murabi. I think, as you know, Kuwait is really not only a large oil crude producer country, but also a large financial resources in this country. And the sound banking system is very, and the strong private sector is very, very important. Yeah. And the high level of living standards in Kuwait. Small country, but a large potential. I know the program Kuwait 2035, a large project of and infrastructure in Kuwait are available. And as just mentioned, the solid banking system and the strong private sector is very so important. Please, Mr. Hamad Al-Kandari, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Hijazin. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I am honored to speak to such a diverse and like-minded group of economists, businessmen, to deepen the economic, trade, and investment partnership between Kuwait and Belgium. A big thank to the organizer of this important meeting. We have now passed 1 year of mark into the global pandemic and effect in every fact of our life. Despite this challenge, I'm pleased at the resilience and dedication from all of you to continue to enhance the special economic relation between Belgium and Kuwait to even higher levels. Kuwait and Belgium have a history of economic cooperation, beginning with the economic agreement signed between both sides in 1974. Since then, our relation has only continued to flourish, implement in the successful economic form under the slogan of Kuwait Vision 2035. Our economic cooperation in regard to the volume of the trade exchange between our two countries is dynamic and constantly growing. Trade between Kuwait and Belgium rose from 212 million euro in 2018 to 224 million euro in 2019. This number put Kuwait as the 75 client and 170 supplier of the good to Belgium and highly respect number. In regard to our investment and development, Kuwait and Belgium enjoy to substantial two-way investment partnership. Kuwait Petroleum International, Q8 in Belgium, own nearly 400 oil plants and refineries in Antwerp, and account for approximately 13.1% of the total sale for the domestic fuel and market. In addition, as a part of the vision of Kuwait 2035, Kuwait has expressed interest to the partner with the Belgian company specialized in digging and deepening the waterway to assist in the construction of the Mubarak Al-Kabir port. Our ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Jassim Al-Badawi, has also personally contributed to the enhanced tie by hosting a number of the Belgian company and providing them with the benefit of the investment opportunity in Kuwait. In line with the Kuwait Vision 2035 develop plan, Kuwait is keen to consolidate and deepen its bilateral relation with Belgium in field of renewable energy, port management, health sector, and education. In fact, in this desire of the Kuwait Oil Company, KOC, It signed a memorandum of understanding with the Belgian authorities specialized in the field of the renewable energy. Kuwait and Belgium share an excellent relationship that transcends the traditional definition of allies. We are close partners in almost every aspect, sharing the same value and expression, and why the variety of this issue, not limit solely an economic partnership. We must work together to deepen our cooperation and increasing of our coordination in order to ensure business and investment opportunity that will benefit both our country and our people. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, now, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. As you can see, we have also the opportunity to have Kuwait as a member of our chamber and sponsor of our chamber, and we will take this opportunity to thank Kuwait. Kuwait, you know, is the Kuwait Petroleum Company, and that's proved it's very large, one of the largest Arab investments in Belgium and in Luxembourg, and it's the second most important gas station point in Belgium. It's very, very important. Thank you very much. And congratulations for His Excellency. I know he's in Kuwait now, and I have contact with him last week, and he's in Kuwait. Thank you very much indeed. And now we'll move to another country, lovely country, to Lebanon. We know Lebanon, they suffer a lot last time, but as you know, the importance of Oman, of Lebanon as regional trading hub. Strong potential for tourism, for foreign investment, a banking sector, very strong banking sector. Maybe they are suffering now, but they are restructuring. And you know, the link between Lebanon, really, it was the link point and the hub between the East and West. And the place of Lebanon was very important. And now it's my pleasure and honor to welcome Mr. Saadallah Zaiter. He's the economic attaché of the Embassy of Lebanon. Please, Saadallah, the floor is yours. Tafadal.
Mr. Hijazin, thank you for introducing me and giving me the opportunity to participate in your annual event. It's always very useful for the bilateral relations between Belgium and Lebanon. Before speaking about the investment sector, please let me first highlight some points related to the explosion that happened in Beirut. So as you know, a massive explosion has rocked the port of Beirut on August 4 and left more than 200 people dead, more than 6,000 others injured, and hundreds of thousands of people without homes. So here I must thank Belgium, the government, the private sector, and the citizens of Belgium for the humanitarian assistance to Lebanon in terms of medical devices and medicine, and the government for the donation of 3 grain pumps to the port of Beirut that improve loading and unloading grains at high capacities. So as you know, and as you mentioned, Lebanon is going through multiple crises currently on the financial, economic, social, and even banking sector levels. However, we always know that Belgian companies are known to be the ones that can identify opportunities during a time of crisis. So one example is recently, last year, we saw a Belgian company, CapSave, they opened a branch for them in Lebanon, and now they are providing solutions to Lebanese companies and even Arab companies in countries around Lebanon. So please, I'll try to be as specific as possible, as concrete as possible. I will speak about 3 main ideas of investment in Lebanon right now that they are trending right now. Hopefully I will be able to help the Belgian companies who are present with us today. So the first idea is, as you mentioned, the banking sector in Lebanon is going through some troubles right now. So there was an initiative last year, a private entity set up in Luxembourg, which is Cedar Oxygen Economic Recovery Platform. Basically, they are complementing the role of the Lebanese banking sectors. It's an entity set up in Luxembourg, and they have 2 offices, one in Paris and one in Beirut. And this company is operational. So the purpose of this company is to develop short duration lending solutions for Lebanese companies, both importers and exporters, by providing trade and supply chain financing. To date, this company, Cedar Oxygen Company, they managed to raise $175 million in terms of capital investment. and their target is to raise an additional 400 million. So two main points could be of interest to Belgian companies. The first one is that this entity, the Oxygen Cedar, is currently looking for more capital investment with a targeted annual performance rate of around 7%. And at the same time, they are looking for export and import credit insurance European companies to collaborate with them. So they are currently contacting some European companies in the field of insurance, and they are willing to collaborate with other companies. So let me please mention that this company, they're organizing the largest virtual 3D industrial fair in Europe on April 29th on 2021. And they are very interested to get in touch with Belgian suppliers of raw materials. So I encourage the export agencies present with us today to diffuse the information to their members. So the concerned sectors are agri-food, chemical products, pharmaceuticals, industrial machinery, textile, and paper and packaging. So they would like to have the European raw material suppliers in this event to connect them with the Lebanese industrial companies that they are also looking for to import raw material, to import raw materials. So the second idea is that 3RF framework, which is the Reform, Recovery, and Reconstruction framework. So this framework was launched by the European Union, World Bank, and United Nations last month as a response to the explosion that happened in Beirut. And this framework, actually the international community intends to unlock financing of around 2 billion euros for reconstruction and infrastructure projects in Lebanon. So here I really believe that Belgian companies operating in this sector, in these sectors, should participate in the tenders process once are launched. The third idea and my last idea, it's the Tripoli Special Economic Zone. So it's a public-private partnership project. It will be the first economic zone in Lebanon. It will serve as a logistics and ICT hubs, and it's located 30 kilometers away from the borders of Syria. So TSEZ is currently looking for an European consultant to provide the transactional advice for the PPP, preparation of offers, financial models, financial analysis, M&A analysis, and they will launch a tender very soon. So I also invited, we have companies working in this field to get in touch with me so I can put them in touch with the TSEZ. I try to be as brief as possible. If you need more details about investing in Lebanon, you can always reach me after obtaining my contact details from the Arab and Belgian Chamber. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you again for this opportunity and for your time. Thank you, Mr. Hijazi.
Thank you, Mr. Saadallah. We will, regarding the information, we will pass the information to our partners, Belgian foreign trade agencies. They can split this information to their member and to our members also, and we can split it to the Belgian Chamber of Commerce. It would be our pleasure to do that. Be sure. Thank you once more. Now we will move. Thank you, Mr. Sada. Now we will move to Mauritania. I think we are pleased to have with us Mr. Hamdi Gala. He's the second consular. I don't know. You know, Mauritania is very rich in mineral resources, not only oil, but also gold and copper, so on and so on. The importance of Mauritania in the fishery sector, it's really, it's one of the most important sector in the Arab world, and also the potential in the energy, mainly renewable energy sector. I don't know if Mr. Hamdi would like to take the floor. Please. Yes, Sayyid Hamdi. No. No problem. We will come later on. No problem. Voilà. We will come later on, no problem. We will come back to Mauritania. Now let us go to Morocco. It's really our pleasure also to welcome Madame Asma Al-Mekhfi. She is the Economic Counselor of the Embassy of Morocco. As you know, the geographic position of Morocco at the Mediterranean Sea, at the Atlantic Sea, also, and very important high-end market, and the diversification of the economy, and the importance of the agriculture sector, renewable energy sector, and very strong also banking sector of Morocco, and the relation between Belgium and Morocco, not also a relation of economic relation, very, very important social and cultural relation between Belgium and Morocco, and also the other North African country, because they are, thanks to the language, French-speaking countries now, and really the green investment is very important also for Morocco. Please, Madame Asma Al-Mekhfi, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy to see again some familiar faces. Can you hear me? Okay, I think yes. So I would like to thank you for organizing this meeting today that will allow us to reconnect with colleagues from embassies and Belgian institutions and investors. So through my presentation, I will talk first briefly about economic relations with Belgium, and secondly, some of the sectors for investments in Morocco. So concerning the economic relations with Belgium, in 2020, Morocco was the 42 client of Belgium and the 51 supplier. So we knew the exchange between Morocco and Belgium knew an increase in Moroccan exports to Belgium by 21.7% for 2020. The main products exchanged are, among others, chemicals, machinery, equipments, transportation equipments, food products, and 80% of the business is done with the Flemish companies. But there is also a big potential to develop with Belgium. As for investment opportunities in Morocco, I will, in addition to the traditional ones, which are tourism, textile, and agriculture, Morocco was able to develop some strong and inclusive ecosystems for other sectors. And I can talk here about automotive sector. Morocco is the first African producer. I can talk about offshoring and information and communication technologies. Morocco is the third offshoring destination in Africa. Renewable energy, Morocco has invested nearly $5.8 billion in renewable energy, mainly solar, but also wind energy. And now Morocco is launching new projects in hydrogen energy as also the source of the future. So we are hoping that by 2025, we will have the first hydrogen plant, and that will be ready for commercial service. Also, Morocco is the fifth attractive aerospace industry in the world and first in Africa. We have also strong ecosystems in the electrical and electronics industry, but also in the production of medicines and medical devices. And I think most of participants could have heard about how Moroccan industries were able to produce during the COVID, by the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis. The Moroccan industry showed a good responsiveness and flexibility and innovation, and started producing respirators, suppliers, medical suppliers, and manufacturing masks, which were previously important from other countries. I will talk lastly about the pharmaceutical sector, and Morocco is considered as a relocation platform. and pharmaceuticals allowed turnover reached $1.6 billion in 2018. The last two points of my presentation will be about how the COVID-19 pandemic and its effects on traditional supply markets has also brought Morocco to put as a priority the reinforcement of its industrial capacities, not only to satisfy national needs, but to position itself as one of the most competitive, decarbonized, and circular sourcing destination to Europe. In addition to all the other facilities and advantages Morocco is offering through its free zones, through its customized financial packages for local and foreign investors, and through supporting both onshore and offshore projects, and also its strong logistics. Morocco has one of the biggest ports now in the Mediterranean, which is Tangier Med. Also, through my presentation, I would like to bring to the attention of the companies the strong and very important actions taken by Morocco in the framework of its recovery plan. And for example, Morocco now has allocated 75 billion dirhams that will be used to facilitate access to financing guaranteed by the state to all types of businesses, regardless of the size, private or public. This financing in the form of bank loans will be granted on preferential terms for a period ranging from 5 to 10 years, depending on the sectors. Morocco also approved recently on February 35 new approved project investments for a total of 11.3 billion Moroccan dirhams. One last thing that I would like to draw the attention of the investors that are probably present with us today is that Morocco is a gate to Africa for foreign companies and investors. Morocco is the first investor in West Africa and the second in the continent. And according to the World Economic Forum report, which was published in January 2021, Morocco featured among Africa's top 10 supplying markets in recent years. And Moroccan exports to other African countries amounted to $2.24 million. So, and also 85 of Morocco's investments funds were directed towards Africa. So I hope that all these points has given an idea to investors and to other colleagues about the importance of the Moroccan economy and how it can be very profitable for investors from all over Europe and from Belgium. And I also want to take the opportunity to invite any investor to contact me, either to start contact with Moroccan authorities and or other companies, or to explore business opportunities, or simply to know more about the country. I'm here to help all people to know more about the country, about its potentials, and about what can Morocco offer best to investors. Thank you for your attention, and hope to see you soon, inshallah.
Ahlan wa sahlan. Thank you, Madam Asma. Also, that we have to underline also the important relation between the Arab Mediterranean countries and the EU also, because we are the first economic partner also with the EU. We will come back later on for this question. Thank you, Madam Asma. We will move to another country, Qatar. We will go to Qatar. We go by alphabetical order. As you know, Oman, we have a special session for Oman later on, so that we will move to Qatar. We are very pleased and honored to welcome Madam Tamadur Al-Khalifi. Ahlan wa sahlan. The first secretary of the Embassy of Qatar. You know, one of the world's largest gas exporter in the world. Qatar is a small country, as you know. The gas is really three Arab countries have Qatar, Egypt, and Algeria, I think, regarding gas. And also Qatar is strong financial center and for the public account, and the organization of the World Cup 2022 We hope to see the Belgian team there as they perform in Russia 3 years ago. We hope to see the Belgian team performing at the same level, maybe better than that. And really big investment and big high level of standards and social stability, and one of the highest GDP per capita in the world. It's really, we are proud, we are pleased to hear that. Madame El-Khalifi, I think you are new here also in Belgium. We wish you a warm welcome. أهلا وسهلا وطيب الإقامة. Please, the floor is yours. تفضلي.
Thank you so much, and hopefully we will see the Belgium team playing in the FIFA World Cup, which we also hope that it will be a successful tournament. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank the ABL Chamber of Commerce for represented by Mr. Hijazin for organizing this event aimed at promoting the relations between Belgium and the Arab countries on the economic and industrial and trade levels. As a new member of the diplomatic staff at the Embassy of Qatar in Brussels, I appreciate this event, and I consider it to be an opportunity to meet with representatives from the Belgian trade agencies and to explore the best sectors of investment between Belgium and the state of Qatar. The bilateral relations between Qatar and the Kingdom of Belgium have witnessed constant progress, particularly in the energy sector, whereas the two countries cooperate strategically. Qatar is the fourth largest gas provider to Belgium. The close cooperation between the two countries in that sector has expanded following the conclusion of the Qatar liquefied gas contract in March 2007. These ties have also been promoted by the signing of Qatar Petroleum and Fluxys Belgium in September 2019 of a long-term agreement to receive, store, rebuy price liquefied natural gas at the LNG station at the Belgian port of Zeebrugge. The future of the energy cooperation between the state of Qatar and Belgium is promising, not only given Qatar an important place at the Belgian market, but also in Europe. The two countries closely work together at the commercial and economic levels, as well as the various areas of technology, engineering, and thus service industry, while seeking to increase the opportunity for expanding trade and investment relations. Many Belgian companies operate in Qatar, carrying out various projects in the framework of the 2022 FIFA World Cup preparation. A number of Belgian companies also operate in a wide range of sectors, such as services, clean water technology, construction, marine drilling, renewable energy. On the other hand, Qatar investment in Belgium were made mainly in the sector of petrochemicals, air freight, real estate, sport, and chocolate, of course. Here I would like to highlight that Qatar has also adopted in 2019 new laws regulating foreign investment, allowing up to 100% of foreign ownership in efforts to open up all its economic sectors for investors from all parts of the world. Qatar has also worked in recent years on developing its national strategy, which have paved the way to strengthening food security during time of crisis. My country is also looking to share knowledge and expertise in this sector. The state of Qatar looks forward to build stronger ties with the Kingdom of Belgium in all various fields of economics, trade, and industrial sectors. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Khrefi for this presentation. I just mentioned it's very important to know that the new law regarding the 100% ownership, it's very important for the investor, you know, but we always give wise to business community to have a partnership in every Arab country when they are going to work there. It's very important to have their partner and ownership there. Thank you very much indeed. Now we will move to another, not far from Qatar, to Saudi Arabia. You know, Saudi Arabia, the most important economy in the Middle East, most important economy in the Arab world. It's a really leader company, the key member of the G20, one of the most important also economic partner of Belgium in terms of export. You know, the export from Saudi Arabia to Belgium is the first among Arab countries, and the second, and the other side, United Arab Emirates, is the first regarding imports, the second in terms of export. That's been they are between Saudi Arabia and Emirates. They are the first in this field and the second in the other field. And the economic diversification in Saudi Arabia, not only, as you know, 25% of the proven oil reserve are in Saudi Arabia, but also Saudi Arabia is really the new vision 2030. I think we are pleased to welcome Madam Abir Al-Jaid, the first secretary of the Embassy of Saudi Arabia. They will go further. And please, Madam Abir, the floor is yours. سماعة لو سمحتي. سماعة.
Now it's okay? Yeah. I would like to thank you personally, Mr. Hijazin, for this opportunity and for having this meeting, especially in a timely matter where a crisis of this pandemic hitting the world. So, and with the window to Belgium, I would like also to comment on that metaphoric title. It's not only a window to Belgium, I think it's a window to see also my diplomatic peers here and all the stakeholders. So thank you for opening the window, Mr. Kaiser Hijazin, for a quite good time. Just to correct, I'm the first secretary in Diplomatic Affairs Department. I try to be short in my word, in my speech, because Mr. Kaiser has mentioned the most important role, or maybe the investments that we have in Saudi Arabia in terms of exports and imports. The unique location of my country, its history, its religion or religious status, its vast wealth and rich culture, economic and political stability. All these are factors that make Saudi Arabia an attractive environment for investors all over the world. The Saudi plan to increase the economic role of the private sector by focusing on privatization and development of public-private partnership, PPP, improving the business environment, developing local capital market, encouraging foreign direct investment, the FDI, and support small and medium enterprise SMEs. The fact that this global pandemic or the global outbreak affected all countries promoted my country to respond rapidly to this crisis by implementing some urgent measures to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on economic activities, both domestically and abroad. In 2016, Saudi Arabia unveiled its ambitious policy by announcing the Saudi Vision to 2030, a major economic reform plan which aimed to diversify the kingdom's economic base. The long-term plan seeks to increase foreign investments and enhance the economy overall competencies. Its features include economic diversification through development of the private sector and setting objectives of raising its contribution of the GDP from 40 to 60% by the year 2030, including healthcare, education, infrastructure, and tourism. In 2019, we have launched a new program which offered tourist visa to citizens from 49 countries, including most of them or European countries. The Kingdom has long held close and productive relationships with Belgium and Luxembourg. Saudi Arabia is one of the largest trading partners for Belgium in the Arab world. And considering its high growth market, it offers significant opportunities for Belgian and Luxembourgish companies across a large range of sectors like chemical sector, the transport equipment and power generating machinery sector, medical and pharmaceutical sector, the food product sector, and among others. And I would like to conclude in my speech. Actually, we prepared a longer speech, but we prefer to stick to that. We will be glad if any of the partners or any of investors would have any question or more inquiries about my country, about the possibilities, the investments opportunities that we have. Will have a direct contact with either me or my colleagues in the embassy, and through email or my contacts. Thank you so much again.
Thank you very much, Madam Habib, for this presentation. As I just mentioned, I would like to add it to the business community here in Belgium and in Luxembourg. That means we have really an agreement with the Embassy of Saudi Arabia regarding the deliverance of business visa for the business community. If you want to go to Saudi Arabia, you don't have to go to the embassy. If you have your invitation, you can come to our Chamber of Commerce, and we can, with the cooperation with the embassy, we can provide you your visa within 24 hours and maximum 48 hours. That means this is really a kind of cooperation we have with the Embassy of Saudi Arabia to facilitate the business community transport between Saudi Arabia and Belgium. Thank you again, Ms. Abir. And now we will move to North Africa once more. We will go to Tunisia. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Maher bin Salim, Chargé d'Affaires. As you know, Tunisia now is really facing a democratic transition, and really it's a very, very important partner of Belgium and to the EU. And I think Belgium, regarding the Belgian investment in Arab world, there is Belgium, it's I think the third foreign investor in Tunisia. That means the potential in Tunisia is very, very high, not only in tourism, but you have to know also agriculture, textile, ICT, renewable energy, and phosphate, so on, so on. Thank you very much, Mr. bin Salim. I think it's the first contact we have with our Chamber of Commerce. And please, the floor is yours. Ahlan wa sahlan.
اهلا وسهلا. شكرا استاذ حجازين. Do you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
شكرا. Just allow me at first to thank you for this opportunity and for introducing me and my country too. And let me just to have this opportunity to thank all the speakers and to welcome all my colleagues. Some of them unfortunately I didn't saw some of them for a long period because of this pandemic, and inshallah it will be possible in the very soon future. You already presented Tunisia, so what can I do? Can I say more? Tunisia and Belgium have a good relationship and partnership from long time, and with Belgium, but in general with the European Union. As you know, that Tunisia and European Union has established a free trade zone from the 2008, and we are negotiating a more large agreement for the future. And so the trade between Tunisia and Europe represents 70% of the total of trade of Tunisia, and the investments, European investments, are very important in Tunisia and in very diverse field. The cooperation with Belgium could be reinforced because of the possibilities and potentials offered by in many fields, especially in new technologies, in medicals, pharmaceutical, etc. So we're negotiating with our friends in Belgium and Luxembourg too, to develop this cooperation, and even in services. As you know, you mentioned the tourists we have before the 2020, as this COVID damaged many of cooperation opportunities. We had more than 100,000 tourists, Belgian tourists, and others from Luxembourg. So we are looking for the end of this situation, and this event is it an opportunity to think of our future and to try to overcome our present difficulties. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Ben Salim. Yes, as you just mentioned, also the medical sector and the new technology. And in the past, every year we receive delegation from Tunisia, and we organize every year a ICT seminar with the collaboration of foreign trade agencies, and the importance of relation between the EU and Tunisia. And we hope that all the situation will recover, and we will see soon tourism going back to Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, Jordan, and Egypt. We hope to, and Lebanon also. We hope so. Thank you very much once more. Last but not least, we will move to United Arab Emirates. You know, it's our pleasure to welcome Madame Amira Al-Dahmani, Head of Economic Affairs. She is new in the embassy. We have several contacts in the past. I don't know if it's necessary to present one more. United Arab Emirates and Dubai, so on. As you know, it's really a regional trading hub and high degrees of economic diversification in this country, and the financial sector, and the importance of free zones also in United Arab Emirates. And everybody speaks now about Dubai 2020. We will be there, sure we'll be there. Now, Madame Amira Al-Dahmani, the floor is yours. Ahlan wa sahlan. Tafadali.
Hijazi, first of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation to such an important platform. I'm Amira Al-Dahmani, Head of Economic Affairs at the United Arab Emirates Embassy in Belgium. The UAE and Belgium have significant historical trade and investment ties, which became strategic partnerships in the economically viable sectors due to the efforts made by the two countries. The UAE represents an ideal destination for investment, given its stable and secure environment with the investor-friendly legislation. In 2018, the UAE attracted $10.4 billion in inward FDI, making it the top destination for inward FDI in the GCC and the Arab world, and 29th globally. Also, in the recent years that ended in the UAE ranking 16th globally in the World Bank's 2020 Doing Business report, up from 47th in 2009. The reforms have been driven by the UAE government's forward-looking agenda and successful efforts to be at the forefront of change and innovation. One of the key commitments by the UAE government is technological progress, from the Mohammed bin Zayed University for Artificial Intelligence to the critical importance of digital transformation to the UAE Vision 2021. I would like to emphasize on the importance of research and development, especially in the domain of artificial intelligence. On the other hand, despite the fact that the UAE is considered food secure due to its ability to import food from international markets, it's now prioritizing innovation-driven food security projects and investments in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Since the launch of the National Food Security Strategy 2051 in 2017, UAE rose from the 33rd place to the 21st in only 2 years. The strategy focuses on facilitating global food trade, diversifying sources of food imports through partnerships, and enhancing sustainable local food production. The aims of the strategy are to create more than 16,000 jobs, to immensely increase agricultural production, and to achieve $1 billion worth of economic returns. And to achieve these goals, the UAE has been investing heavily in agri-tech. Finally, we are looking forward to have you in Expo Dubai through its theme, Connecting Minds, Creating the Future, and its 3 sub-themes, opportunity, mobility, and sustainability. I would like to stop here and give the floor to my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amira, and we will be pleased to welcome you once more. And as you just mentioned, really Emirates is a laboratory for a new all new technologies. Thank you again, and I take this opportunity to thank all of you from Arab embassies for your input for this seminar, really, which really I appreciate. And my staff, I would like to thank also the staff of the chamber. Madam Sonia, she is doing very wonderful job to manage about 20-25 speakers. It's not easy. And thanks for her, and thanks for all of you. And now I will go to the main course, maybe or the dessert, if you don't mind. As I just mentioned, with the collaboration with the Embassy of Oman. But before giving the floor, I would like to add 2 words that mean relation between Belgium and Arab countries is not only relation regarding figures and statistics. It's not what we are looking for. We are looking relation, the cooperation between our two countries is really based on a common interest. It's a long history, it's a neighborhood, it's a proximity, and really we are looking for to improve this relation, not only of import and export. We need to implement a relation based on a relationship for a long-term relationship, win-win relation for the benefit of both parties. Thank you again for all Arab embassies for your input. And now we will move to really our guest speakers, Mr. Salah Al-Shanfari, who is the CEO of Oman Food Investment Company. You know the importance. We see our speakers from the food industry in Belgium, and the importance of food really during this crisis, the importance of medicine, of medical care, and the importance of foodstuffs. And we need a real policy in the Arab countries. We need really a real policy, and we're looking for cooperation, more cooperation. And Mr. Saleh Al-Shanfari, CEO of Oman Food Investment, he will give us a presentation on the role of the Oman Food Investment in developing the agro investment project. Mr. Al-Shanfari, he is graduated in Laos State University in UK, and he is executive officer of Omani Food Investment Holding and Oman leading own food security company mandate to develop the security project for Oman. That means the importance of food security for Arab countries. Please, Mr. Shamfari, the floor is yours. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا.
Thank you very much. مرحبا, مساء الخير. It's already dark here in Muscat. Already. So good evening to those who are here close by, and good afternoon to all of you on the other side. So many thanks, Your Excellency, for welcoming us, and thanks to the Oman Embassy also for arranging this. Many thanks to previous speakers, the Belgian, the Arabs, and I think it was very interesting to hear all the speakers speak very highly about their expertise, their experience, their countries, their companies, and I have learned a lot today. Oman Food Investment Company is a state-owned company mandated to develop food security project, and as you rightly said, I think what we need to do here is just to share with you the presentation. The Oman Food Investment Company is basically focuses on developing food security projects in Oman. We have developed a number of projects, basically in dairy, poultry, red meat. We are also working with vaccines, and we work with various supporting services with the largest food security company in Oman, and we work very closely with all private sector in Oman, foreign FDIs. Of course, you all know what the meaning of food security. Basically, it's to when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food. Oman have ranked number 2 in the Arab world last week at food security, number 36 globally. That's because the efforts made here in Oman really show the capability of the country to manage its food value chain. I'm also glad to announce that UNCTAD has ranked Oman yesterday as the fastest port handling in terms of speed, an average 12 hours. This is ranked number 1 in the world. The capability of Oman to manage food logistics is unheard of, and the capability of Oman to focus in developing food projects is really something that we are all proud of. The company have started 5 years ago, and then today we have a portfolio that includes 11 companies, from dairy, red meat, vegetable companies, and fruits, date processing facility, flour mills, largest bakery in the world. In fact, the buns that you may eating up in one of the airlines, and the Pizza Hut that you may eat in Morocco or in Muscat or in Dubai, I want to guarantee you that it is already coming from Muscat here, from one of our companies, and the ability of us to use Oman as a springboard and logistic hub to serve the whole region is something that we all proud of. We love to work with the Belgian counterparts to come here to Oman to develop their packaging and logistic facilities here, and then from here we will definitely be able to route all our products, all the food products to the world. While talking, some of our products are already in the way to Mauritania, in the way to Libya, and the way to Morocco, and the way to Tunisia. As a country, we export fish to more than 80 countries, all the way from North America to Japan. This tells you one thing, that Omani food brands are globally accepted because of high quality. Omani fish is EU certified. So all the European countries do receive Omani sea product. This is just an indication of the capability of the country, Oman, to supply the whole world with first-class quality fresh and frozen products. The hygiene system, the standards, the GAP, the globally accepted practices in agriculture system are well established. The sustainable way of managing our agro industry is something that we would love to share with you and to show you the ability of the country to manage its ecosystem, which is a fragile ecosystem all over the world, in a very, very responsible way. The dairy plant that we have here is the first dairy plant in the region which uses biogas to produce energy and power. It's an indication of how important the issue of environment is treated here in the country. We do use principles of circular economy to manage our waste coming from our agriculture practices. However, the system that we use in managing our fragile natural resources are also carefully studied, and we would love to work with you, your experience, to come and share our experience, and to invite you as active Belgian companies and as our brotherly Arabs to come along here, and we're all willing to share our experience as well as invite you to come along and have your investments, have your factories, have your farms here, and share the Omani experience in exporting to the whole world high quality food, which is natural, which is mostly organic, which is hygienically backed for the whole world. So Omani food products are well developed here, and we can reach the whole world in a very, very short time. And we are the most friendly nation in terms of our ability to have relationship with the whole world. We have no enemies. We're all friends with the whole world, and we're capable of attracting all FDIs from all over the world. Come along here, invest in Oman, and send your product to the whole world. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the opportunity, and many thanks for my colleagues who have spoken before me. And there's a lot to do together, and welcome to the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Al-Shamfari, for this presentation, and really be sure we will be more than glad and happy to see more and more contact between Oman and Belgium in this field, because I just mentioned the importance of the agro industry. It's not only agriculture sector, but also the new technologies, the packaging, the logistic, all of that is very, very important to having cooperation of this field between our two countries. And we will be more than happy to be the link for the Omani Food Investment Company and the Belgian part, be sure. And,
thank you, Your Excellency. I'll share my email address in the Q&A window. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, if there is any question, be sure we will forward that to you, and we will take this opportunity to thank His Excellency Mr. Ambassador Najm Al-Abri to give us this opportunity to invite you. And as you know, last year we invite also Mr. Yahya Al-Jabri from Al-Duqm. The cooperation between Belgium and Oman is very, very high level, and one of our sponsors, our partners, they are managing now Al-Duqm free trade free zone area. Thank you again, Mr. Al-Shamfari. And now we will move, last but not least, to our last speaker, Madam Amna Al-Sharji. He is the business development of OPOZ, that's mean the Omani Public Authorities for Economic Zones and Free Zones. And she will deliver on the special economic zone and free zones in Oman. Madam Amna, she's the business development of OPAZ, and she's a graduate from the German University in Oman in urban planning, and graduate in architecture designer. Please, Madam Amna, الشرجي, the floor is yours. Please, تفضلي. أهلا وسهلا.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. It is a real pleasure to be part of this platform here today. My name is Amna Sharji, a representative of OPAZ, and it is the Public Authority for Special Economic Zone and Free Zones in Oman. Next, please. So for the interest of time, I will be covering the shown points very quickly, starting with who we are as OPAZ, the strategic location of Oman, the ideal business environment we offer to investors, the incentives we offer to investors, and finally, the 4 zones that come under the umbrella of OPAZ as an authority. Next, please. So OPAZ basically is a government entity responsible at the moment for 4 zones, spread from north to south in the map of Oman, as you can see. It also covers around the area. When we count all the 4 zones together, the area is about 2,045 square kilometers, which are Sohar, Duqm, Salala, and Al-Mazyuna. Next, please. Coming to who we are as OPAZ, just to summarize very quickly, or to be more precise, what do we do as an authority? Mainly, we are responsible for implementing strategies and plans to grow the current special economic zone and free zones in Oman. We also regulate the investment environment in all zones in Oman, also the use of rights of investment. And we also invest, promote investment opportunities locally and international and within these zones. Also, part of our responsibility is to unify the rules and regulations of all available zones today, and also any future zones to come in Oman in the coming future. Next, please. Coming to the strategic location of Oman, it is open to the Indian Ocean, outside the Strait of Hormuz, with a proximity, very close proximity to a market of up to 2.5 billion people, mainly in Asia, Africa, and Europe. So probably this justifies the quick reaction Engineer Saleh just mentioned a while ago, as in the fast shipment hub in Oman in terms of food logistics. Next, please. To create our ideal business environment, the value proposition we offer, other than the strategic location that I've briefly mentioned, is also the multi-transportation system. We focus on ports, airports, and also we are introducing a railway to come in the future, inshallah. Ease of doing business, natural resources. So up to now, slightly above 70% of economy of Oman is reliant to oil and gas businesses. But as per the vision of Oman 2040 is to diversify the economy of the country and to unlock the other resources that Oman enjoys, basically in minerals, fish, and probably tourism to enjoy the natural beauty of Oman. And also Oman enjoys a very good international relationship. We are friends to everybody, as Engineer Saleh mentioned. And that offers businesses a very stable political state for them to establish their investments. And also we have trade agreements with US and Singapore. Next, please. So in terms of the investments, the incentives that we offer investors, they're listed here. I'll summarize the most important ones. It's 100% foreign ownership, tax exemption of up to 30 years, lease agreements for up to 50 years and renewable for the same period, and no current currency restriction, and 100% profit repatriation is permitted within our zones. Also, we offer one-stop shop service where we assist the investors from the application process to the construction and also to the operational phase to ensure that the flow of their businesses are very smooth. Next, please. So to focus on, to go quickly and briefly about every economic, of every zone within Oman. Next, please. Starting with the special economic zone at Duqm. Next, please. It is the first and only economic zone in the Sultanate of Oman, and the difference between a special economic zone and a free zone is basically the size. The economic zone is a place where you can live, work, and enjoy, but usually in terms of the free zones is a place dedicated for industries, so businesses only, and you cannot live in, and most of the time they're gated. So the special economic zone at Duqm is about 2,000 square kilometers, which is roughly 3 times the size of Singapore. So that gives you an indication of how big the special economic zone is. It was established in 2012, and the existence of the Belgium part in Duqm is very obvious. Our partners in the port is Port of Antwerp, as briefly mentioned earlier. So the port is a joint venture between the Omani government and the Port of Antwerp, 50-50 share. Port of Antwerp as a partner is not only the port operator, but also is a landlord. So they have lands dedicated for logistics and industries that they can offer to investors. This eases the businesses between the two nations, and so far the relationship is so good between the two countries in terms of the special economic zone and also in other fields for sure. So investment opportunities in Duqm is in various sectors: industries, port, tourism, fisheries, commercial, logistic, education, residential, and healthcare. So basically everything to make people able to work, enjoy, and live in Duqm. Next, please. So this is basically the master plan of Duqm. The red bit is the heavy industries, the yellow is the medium industries, and the beigeish is the light industries. We have a port, we have an airport, which is eligible to be an international airport in the future. We have a dedicated port for fisheries, where when we talk about unlocking the other resources available in Oman, and we have the main port, which is just to mention again, a joint venture between Oman and Belgium. Next, please. Moving to Sohar, next, please, which is a free zone in Oman. It is 20 square kilometers, and it provides swift access to the growing Middle East, India, and East Africa markets. It's purely industrial related, so people do not live in the free zone in Sohar, but we have a population of around 240,000 people living in the city around the free zone. The possible investment opportunity is in industrial, logistic, food, and textile. Next, please. This briefly shows you the port, and the red bits are the industrial areas, and then we also have an airport within close proximity to the free zones. Next, please. Moving to Salalah free zone. Next. It's a leading transshipment hub positioned among the world's top port and destination for quality industry and logistic activities, and most of the food-related exports are exported from Port of Salalah, which is a joint venture again between the Omani government and APM terminals. The size of the free zone in Salalah is 21.6 square kilometers, and also with around 410,000 people living around the free zone, because again, they cannot live within the free zone. The investment opportunities are in industries, and just with the current pandemic, it's worth mentioning that pharmaceuticals take a huge chunk of the industries to come to Salalah in the coming future, logistics and food. Next, please. This is again a map showing the free zones in Adhan and Reisout. There is also a port and airport within very close proximity to the free zone. Next, please. Last, with the smallest free zone available in Oman at the moment, Al Mazyuna free zone. Next, please. It's about 4.5 square kilometers, established in 1999, and due its location between Oman and the border of Yemen, it currently acts like a transit trading hub to the Republic of Yemen, so transporting goods and services to them. Also, again, the population is very low, 10,000 people living around the free zone. There are only light industries there, and the activities within the free zone is basically commercial, tourism, and services. Next, please. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. Please do not hesitate to contact me should you have any further questions or if you're interested in any of our zones. I will be more than happy to assist. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Amna, for this presentation. As you just mentioned, I would like to remind that last year we received His Excellency Mr. Yahya Al-Jabri. He is the chairman of Al-Duqm Economic Free Zone with a big delegation, and we was so happy to see he stayed there for 3 days, and we so more than happy to see the cooperation with the Port of Antwerp. There is a room for cooperation between Belgium and Oman in this field, because there's a lot to do. And one of our sponsors, Deme, you know, Dredging, he is part of this partnership between Al-Duqm and Belgian Antwerp seaport. And
yeah, just to add one point here, if you may allow me. There was big changes in the governmental structure in the previous year. So Mr. Yahya, His Excellency Yahya Al-Jabri was our previous chairman, and Duqm was separately an authority by itself. And then OPAZ came and Duqm became a zone under OPAZ. So OPAZ is the authority now, and it's led by His Excellency Ali Sunidi, Dr. Ali Sunidi. And hopefully he will pay you a visit very soon.
Thank you for this information. We still in contact. We need to have contact with Your Excellency and to see more what we can do together, because there is really room of cooperation between Oman and Belgium in this field. Thank you a lot for this presentation. I would like to thank ambassadors once more. I think now we will came to the end of this webinar or this seminar. I would like to thank all of you, and sorry for the delay. Really, the time is running, but really it feels like 5 to 10 minutes, 1 hour. Really would like to thank all of you for your participation. And as you mentioned, the title of our seminar is A Window in Belgium. But now I think the door is open. Not only a window, now is the door. The door is open, as you just mentioned. Really, it's a big gate for really fruitful and successful relation based on common interest. I insist always on this mutual interest for both countries. Thank you again for all of you, and please stay in contact with the chamber. Don't hesitate if you need any more information regarding the speaker, regarding the speech. We will be more than pleased to provide you with any help. Thank you again, and please show hello and thanks to Arab ambassadors for their support once more, and thanks to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and thanks to all our partners, and thanks to the staff of the Chamber for organizing this event. Sorry for the delay, and really it was very, very, very interesting seminar, and hope to see you soon. Thank you again, and good afternoon ومساء الخير. وشكرا جزيلا على حضوركم وسماعنا هذه المداخلات القيمة، وشكرا جزيلا، وأهلا وسهلا بكم مناسبة قادمة إن شاء الله. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Hijazi. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.